Welcome to the Harjit and Prayer Show with your host, Harjit and Prayer.
What's up, guys? How are you doing?
Hey, Preya, how's it going, man?
I'm doing excellent. We have a friend with us today, Duncan.
Yeah,
How's it going?
Duncan.
Excellent. Glad that you can join us. So, why don't you tell a little bit about yourself?
Oh, sure. Duncan McAlynn, I've been in and around this industry for about 20 years now, going back to the days of SMS 1.2 beta.
Oh, so we're talking about technology right now, not barbecue yet.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, we will
Yeah,
get to the barbecue later. Excellent.
yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, I've basically spent the past 18, 19 years doing design and deployments of Microsoft's enterprise management technology, which we all know is, what is today's System Center. For Fortune 500, Global 2000, state, federal, higher education,
Wow, cool.
all across the board. But over the years, as you guys know, one of the main things that you have to focus on with any product that can touch every endpoint device in your environment is security.
hmm
So that's always kind of been one of those auxiliary components that I focused on. And, today, just where I'm at in my professional career, personal decisions, it's turning to be more and more of my focus point.
Very cool. I mean,
Very cool, yeah.
security has been a topic that we have talked about in the past. More, we more talked about it on the home side because of that awesome hack that happened on almost all the major websites. But
hmm
we know System Center Config Manager has its version of an antivirus, anti-malware client. Um,
Absolutely.
but it does a lot more than that, which people don't really understand. And there's other things that you can leverage on top of System Center third-party products that kind of enhance the whole thing. Because I mean, what do you think about the whole idea that it's just not about having some agent sitting on your computer anymore? It it's a lot deeper than
It
that.
is. And in fact, when you're talking about what's in Configuration Manager, it's really the System Center endpoint protection.
Yep.
This product is actually 10 years old. It goes back to when I was, in Seattle, and they first released the Forefront product, right? So,
Oh, right.
Microsoft actually has the world's largest and most comprehensive threat intelligence and response center in the world. And
Wow.
they process, just I'm trying to think of some of these numbers here, but some 300 billion user authentications every month. There's 200 billion plus emails that they're analyzing and scanning for malware and ransomware and those kinds of things. Imagine being able to take everything that they're doing around Xbox,
hmm
around Hotmail, Azure AD, all these things, the number of attacks that they take on every single minute, and being able to build that threat intelligence into a solution that they're able to provide every corporate customer. So that's kind of what you see today in the System Center Endpoint Protection product.
hmm
Now, this, for anybody out there that has Configuration Manager, I'm going to challenge you. I'm looking you in the face right now and I'm challenging you. Put it to the test, all right? Before you say it's crap, prove that it's crap. Because in actuality, when
hmm
deployed and designed and configured properly, endpoint protection is just as capable as anything else out there on the market for any
Yeah.
malware.
hmm
Now, is that the be all and end all? Absolutely not. Um, have an antivirus or any malware solution on an endpoint. Yeah, it's pretty much a requirement today, and we all accept that and we realize it. But it's only scratching the surface, right? That's the first kind
First
of
layer.
first layer in that defense in
hmm
depth approach. What we also have to look at is things like application control. You know, what are we doing around whitelisting these applications so that things like ransomware can't even execute because it's not been permitted to do so?
hmm
Right.
Then device control. What are we doing to prevent malicious attacks coming in by means of a USB connected device or data loss as a result of some malicious insider offloading mass amounts of data onto some removable storage device.
Right.
All the new ransomware stuff, right?
Exactly.
That's been prevalent too now.
Right. So it goes on and on and on, but the reality is, you have to have a defense in depth approach. And while antivirus is still a requirement in today's existence, until we get better machine learning and those kinds of things to be able to deal with it, you're going to have some kind of anti-malware solution on those endpoints. So if you're able to utilize something that you've already paid for in your system center licensing through endpoint protection,
right?
Why not take advantage of that? Why not have that unified management experience, that single console, and being able to have policies in place? And when I say policy, I'm not just talking something written down on paper or speak box from upper management. I mean a machine policy that says, from this group of systems to this group of systems, this is how the anti-malware solution is supposed to work. And we have that capability with Configuration Manager, and that's what's so phenomenal. We have all these device collections set up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We're using those today for how we're patching, how we're distributing software updates and software applications, different client agent policies. Maybe we need to have the same approach with how we're handling the endpoint protection policies and having different exclusions lists based upon, for example, what roles a particular server is hosting. Making sure you have the right exclusions in there for, say, a configuration manager server versus a SQL server, right? Because you're going to have exclusions that are completely different. You have all that capability, everything that you see today in Trend or McAfee or, Sophos or whoever, all those same capabilities exist in endpoint protection.
And what about the advanced threat protection?
Advanced threat protection?
Right.
Now that's a whole different ballgame, right? So Microsoft's advanced threat protection is really based off of, it shares the namespace of Windows Defender, right? But what it's really doing is using a lot of Azure machine learning and analytics to be able to tell the organization, here's the behavior patterns that we're recognizing within your environment. Here's what's going on with memory injection or utilization. Here's what we're seeing with port probing or, a particular service that's reaching beyond its boundaries.
Right.
And being able to use that intelligence and that machine learning capability to help protect the environment. But we get even better. And this is where organizations, I really think in 2017, just from the things that I'm hearing and seeing from the CISOs, Chief Information Security Officers, they're starting to get the picture that they need to plan for the fact that they've already been breached. Not what if. We're beyond what if scenarios, guys.
Interesting. That's very interesting. Yeah.
We need to plan as if we've already been breached. What are we going to do? What is our response plan? And that's where Microsoft's new advanced analytics comes into play, because this, sort of like the Windows Defender Advanced Threat Protection, really is that post-breach solution with full mapping out of where the breach originated from, where to spawn to. If you start to include things like O365, how many emails have been opened as a result of this? So very comprehensive, and a lot of organizations are going to be taking a deep look at that this year.
Right. You
Fantastic.
actually have to configure in your environment to send the data up to Azure. So it's more than just some piece of software scanning some static database. You're actually configuring your entire network to be not administered, but just like viewable by Azure. That you used to have a dedicated device.
It's a telemetry stuff, right?
Yeah, like that would, basically be a connection open between Azure and your network, but now you can actually install it on your domain controllers, I believe, and capture the data the same way. I could be wrong. I just went to a very brief session at Ignite about that, but it was fascinating, and the demos are incredible. Like, it's
absolutely.
And Microsoft isn't the only one that has that. I'm a Cisco partner, and Cisco has their products, and they take a different approach to it and stuff like that. But it's the same overall philosophy, is that you have to assume your network is already breached, because I deal with public education, and the network has been breached for as long as there's been public education, because there's always some kid that wants to do something, and back in the day, it was like, ha ha ha, I put a file on the server in the place that you didn't have to put, that you didn't think I had access to, or look at me, I got access to the command prompt, ha ha ha, I'm hacking the system. Now it's like SQL attacks against databases with grades and stuff like that, because they have phones attached to, and so it's like, okay, so it's not, at that point, it's not your device, it's on your network somehow. And so then how on earth do you protect against that? Of course, you put that behind a whole different firewall. You have ACLs and rules set up to only allow certain types of traffic, and now you can even identify it by what devices can access the internal, servers and stuff like that. So you can say, okay, if this user is logged into into an Android device, they're not allowed to access the student management system. It has to be done from a Mac OS or Windows device or something like that. So it's become so application aware, beyond just packets now, that you have to recognize as available. Our company switched from a Cisco ASA firewall with IPS to a Meraki security appliance, which takes, I forgot what the company that they bought. I think it was Firesight, which has all the cloud analytics and stuff like that. And I was like, holy cow, look at all the stuff that's happening against our DNS servers and stuff like that people are just trying to compromise. And like, let's get rid of this. Like, why on earth should we contain our own DNS servers at this point? Let's move them to some other space. And so, we can't keep thinking like, okay, we have to keep everything on-prem and we can handle everything on-prem, because there is just too much happening all the time, that it's no longer static where, okay, our definitions are updated at night, and
that's good enough.
That's good enough. Yeah. Nope, you need to have your definitions updated by the minute, because what if all of a sudden security cameras start going crazy again?
That brings up a good point. Another statistic, talking about endpoint protection and being able to have some anti-malware solution in the environment, as part of the testing process, you could have multiple scan engines running simultaneously on a box, right? Hopefully everybody out there knows that. You could test out endpoint protection along with having McAfee running side by side. It is going to be slightly more IO intensive, especially when there's lots of read and writes and whatnot. But statistically, when you do have multiple scan engines running on the same device, you're going to see almost a 20% increase in detection rates as a result of that.
Really? Wow. Yeah. That's pretty high.
And that's one of the statistics that the FBI has released out as part of their, I'm part of the FBI InfraGard, which is the Bureau's private or partnership with the private sector to help protect our nation's critical infrastructures. And it really is a true partnership. But, they provide,
and you're part of that organization now, right?
Yes, I am, as of September of last year.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is, and they truly do want to help organizations of all types and varieties, and when you guys are breached, make those calls. They have tools, resources, and humans to help you guys, get through that. But they also provide a lot of deep tissue information. I get daily email briefings from them, monthly meetings with them. I just attended one today.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a great resource. If anybody out there is involved in security whatsoever, feel free to reach out to me or any other InfraGard member, or just go to fbi.gov and look it up. But lots of great information that they provide.
Cool.
So another thing is, we're looking at devices, we're looking at people, we're looking at, the OS layer and stuff like that. And Well, you got also the other piece of third-party applications. So a lot of people don't think about that. It's like, I've got an old version of FileZilla and that's okay, but it's like 5 versions behind and it's full of vulnerabilities. And so, I know this is your area of expertise with third-party applications and stuff, so you can
Yeah,
talk about that.
it's my sweet spot. Definitely, it's what I do for a living, so to speak. It does pay the bills.
Hmm.
But if you look historically, guys, over the past 3 years, no more than 15% of all the recorded vulnerabilities by NIST, MITRE, CDDetails.com, etc., have been attacking the Microsoft platform. No more than 15%. So the lion's share, that other 85%, it's all the third-party apps in operating systems.
Wow.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
When I with our customers and prospects and ask, why are you not being as diligent with patching your third-party products as you are your Microsoft updates? I hear the same 3 things every single time. We don't have the time, we don't have the tools, and we don't have the resources. But I'm sorry, guys, the days for excuses are over. You got to pull your head out of the sand, right? That is far too large of an attack surface to be left unaddressed. So these threat actors are using these vulnerabilities as the attack surface that they're going to exploit, and they're going to take your systems hostage if they haven't already. So one of the best defenses is keeping those applications up to date. Now, what method you choose to do so, that's up to you. There's pros and cons to all the solutions out there, including manual efforts.
Mhm.
But ultimately, do your job. Protect and defend your organization. And the easiest way, 8 out of 10 of the major vulnerabilities last year were Flash player related.
Yes.
How about just keeping that damn thing up to date,
Yeah.
I mean, that one app alone can eliminate so much of the burden and the risk and results of.
Yeah. Well, even browsers are vulnerable, like things like Firefox and Chrome and stuff like that. So
Edge, equally.
Edge, yeah, exactly. And so for patching third-party products, I mean, applications, we're talking about third-party patching tools, right?
Mhm.
And you're with Heat, and I'm sure you can talk about that, and you can talk about, some other.
Yeah, didn't Heat just go into a relationship with Landesk recently? Is that public? I'm sorry.
The
Yeah,
relation.
it was in the news.
It was in the news. I read about that.
Yeah, it was a very quick courtship, and I guess yes, we are now in a relationship, married, so to speak. We have merged. So if you haven't heard yet, folks, Heat Software and Landesk have merged. There's surprisingly very little overlap between the two organizations and what they bring to the table. Unfortunately, the product that I deal with is Heat PatchLink Desktop, which has tight native integration into the SCCM admin console, no separate client agent, no added infrastructure. Basically just almost plug and play, and now you can patch with third-party products. Of course, Landesk also is the parent company of Shavlik, which has mirrored capabilities.
Right.
So there is that overlap. And what we envision is kind of, if you think about Apollo 13, for example, the guys are out there, they're stranded, trying to get back home. They walk into this, room with all these parts on the table. And he said, the chief engineer, whoever he is, look, this is what they got up there, bring our boys home.
Right.
That's probably what's going to end up happening. We're going to look at all the parts on the table, pick and choose which ones work the best, put them all together. That's kind of what I envision coming down the road. Is that official? No, we don't know anything right now. This news was just announced January 3rd, the working day. So it was a very quick courtship over, the latter parts of the year, and the deal, was agreed upon. So
Mm-hmm.
we're actually all starting that whole process next week in Salt Lake City, globally coming in together and forming what's going to be the new company. Both names are going away.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that was in the press release. So Heat Software, Landesk, both of those names are going to disappear. We will have one unified company moving forward.
Wow.
Oh, that is interesting. All right.
Interesting way to start the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with all that
You know,
stuff.
I like the ring to heat though. You know, like the heat is on, or put the heat on it, or something like that. You know, it's
Fire.
fire.
Heat Software actually got a cease and desist for having the heat is on in our marketing collaterals
Oh,
from Don Henley.
No
So,
way.
oh, really? Holy
so
cow!
my
Dang.
cards originally had the heat is on the back of them.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
So
All
it doesn't
right, all
matter.
right.
It's water under the bridge at this point. We'll figure out what our new company is, next week.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yep.
That's great.
Look forward to hearing an update then about all that.
So lastly, about this third party, patching tool and stuff like that. So if some of our viewers, they want to try out, Heat, for example, is there like a trial version or things like that?
Yeah.
And
Absolutely. So there's a 30-day eval key, and it exposes our entire catalog, so you can test Java and Fox or Firefox, Chrome, whatever you want to, Adobe, Flash Player, all that stuff. It's all in the trial.
Sweet.
And for our newly minted MVP there, not yet. As a 6-time Microsoft MVP, Harjit, congratulations, brother.
Thank you.
Once an MVP, always part of the MVP community. So,
but you got the new MVP designation too, Duncan.
yes, I do. I am part of the MVP Reconnect program.
So congrats
Nice,
on that. That's
nice.
excellent.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
congrats. Yeah.
But my point being about the MVPs, any of those that are watching or find this out, I also have made it part of our program to support the MVPs that they can have an NFR license of the product for a full calendar year, up to 10 devices. You can kick around, play with it using your test lab environment, whatever the case may be.
So who do we contact for that? Because I know there's a thread on the NFR licenses for MVPs, and Heat wasn't on it. So
you could shoot it to me directly, Duncan McAlynn at heatsoftware.com. Since I am the director for the product, not much happens without my influencing it. I think you could also send a email to sales at heatsoftware.com as well.
Okay.
That will hit some of the same people, and myself included, that would be able to get you that key.
Perfect.
Sweet.
All right, that's great. Great information.
Yeah, cool.
Speaking of heat, I still maintain that you shouldn't have any kind of sugar in any kind of spicy sauce, and I'm going to stand by that till the day I die. I'm just saying, there should be no
Those
sugar.
are fighting words, my friend. Fighting words with
Bring
the
it
barbecue
on.
king over there.
Okay, so we're going to get into barbecue sauce. Is that
Yes,
it?
it's barbecue time, man.
Oh, by the way, did we say you're from Texas?
Yes, we.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. Do we?
It's a great country. I love visiting Texas.
Yeehaw!
All right.
I'm a diehard Cowboys fan as well. And,
Absolutely. I
in
am.
honor-
Have been my entire life, and if you had cheerleaders that looked like ours, you'd be a fan too.
Oh, brother.
Okay. But seriously, so barbecue.
Go
Now,
for it.
you guys have been busting a lot of chops here about this whole sauce thing, right? I'm going to say sauce shouldn't be involved at all. Period.
All
Sauce
right.
that you eat in Texas, you've done something wrong to your meat.
I agree with that.
You want to taste the flavor that you worked on that smoker for 8, 12 hours.
Right.
These boys from Kansas City with their sweet sauce, Prayer, I'm with you, brother. I don't get it. If you're putting honey and brown sugar and molasses and all this stuff into your barbecue sauce, it ain't for me.
Nope.
Now, depending on what you're cooking or what you're eating, Carolina boys, now, they kind of got it a little bit right. It's going to be much more vinegary, mustard based. It's not sugary at all. And for things like pork, which Carolina boys are very well known for, their pulled pork sandwiches. I would say Memphis too, but I'll get to Memphis in a minute. But Carolina, they know barbecue, and they can do some damn good pulled pork sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
And for pulled pork, having a good vinegary sauce, yeah, that's nice. But it's runny. It's not thick like you get from KC. But I brought up Memphis. I have an affinity for Memphis. That's where my signature dry rub that has 14 ingredients, I learned to appreciate dry rub from Rendezvous in Memphis. This place is so famous, they have catered presidential inaugurations.
Oh, wow.
Very famous. But all they do is dry rub ribs. I mean, that's what they're known for, right? So there's no sauce, and they'll make fun of you if you ask for it. But it's a very old, traditional, Southern-style barbecue restaurant in Memphis. You actually kind of have to know where it is because you get into it from an alleyway. You go downstairs. It's dark, but it's a very cool place. If you're ever in the city of Memphis, you owe it to yourself to go to Rendezvous Barbecue.
Okay.
In Texas, we're very much the same. It's all about dry rub. Yeah. And let that rub sit on there, get a nice bark, a little smoke ring when you cut through that brisket or into your pork shoulder, and then let that dry rub just permeate itself into the meat, and that's all you need, really.
You're making me hungry, man.
And I'm ribs on the smoker right now. I ain't kidding. I've got racks of ribs on the smoker. I've got Texas-style baked beans going on over here. My buddy's made his little signature macaroni salad. We got some apple pie.
How long has it been smoking?
Several hours now. Now, these are ribs, so we put them on right after work. So, some people do like the 3-2-1 method, or they just do a flash, smoke. But we'll pull these off pretty soon here. That's about 4 hours now.
That's cool. The best barbecue place I've been to is we were going to Waco, Texas, and we flew into Austin. And this is before like Apple Maps was even like a useful thing. We were so hungry, I just put in food, and it just said barbecue, and I'm like, this is where we're going to eat. Let's find it somehow. So we followed our dot on the map, and we got there, and I wasn't sure if I was going to get out alive because it was my first time in Texas. I didn't know what to expect, and so we walk in, and there's like there's guns on the wall. I'm like, oh, this is interesting, and the lady's like, what do you all want? And we're like, oh, we just wanna have some food. Is this a barbecue? She's like, oh yeah, have a seat. Come on. And holy cow, like.
You know the name of the place?
I have.
Austin, my hometown.
I have no idea, dude. It's like less than 10 miles out of the airport, and it's literally a hole in the wall. And we knew it was good because the law enforcement kept coming in and getting stuff. I'm like, so the locals know this place, and I didn't know you could get ribs like that big. It was incredible, but I'm like, we couldn't find it on the way back.
Admitted he had never had beef ribs before in his life. So beef ribs are massive, man. They're literally no joke this big.
Wow,
really? Yeah.
Yeah, I saw some in Atlanta. Somebody ordered a dino rib at a restaurant, and I'm like, holy cow, you're gonna eat that whole thing? And it was good.
Flintstones, where they rack of ribs on the side of the car.
Yeah, and it just tasted like really good brisket. He gave me some. He wasn't gonna finish it, and it was absolutely delicious. Harjit I went to this place somewhere outside of Houston, and it was the funniest thing because it was like a Rudy's or some popular.
Yeah, Rudy's
like
barbecue.
That. And so
Rudy. It was a gas station with it, right?
Yeah, that was the funniest thing. It's like because like, oh, we got to get some gas. So we're like, look, all right, where are we gonna get gas? And I'm like, dude, this barbecue place is a gas station too. And we're like, what? There you go. It was like everything you need in one place.
That's their thing, and they actually call themselves the worst barbecue in Texas.
For real?
Yeah,
Wow.
but they're a joke on themselves. But yeah, it's some pretty legit barbecue. I'll say, you know, they are. Yeah.
I mean, I'm in New York. There isn't really too many choices up around here, so it's kind of depressing. There is one place not too far from where I work. The problem is you don't know when there's going to be food to eat, and so what happens is one of my coworkers will tell me, "Hey, I saw smoke coming out of the place." That is my signal, like, "Oh, they're going to have barbecue today." Because there were so many times I went and they're like, "Sorry, we ran out," because it's
Yeah.
you know.
We have a place here in my town too, and they just started that this summer, and they only open. They do it twice a week, Friday and Saturdays, and they start in the morning, and just after lunch they're done. I mean,
it's sold out.
Gone.
And like I never thought about this, Duncan, but they do it's all dry rub. They don't have a sauce. I mean, they have sauces there, but they don't make their own. They don't put it in their product and stuff like that. It's just it comes out and it is delicious.
Yep.
So
your dry rub, you said 14 ingredients. This is all secret stuff,
Yeah, essentially.
like KFC style.
I'll get you guys a bottle of.
But
All right.
I love spicy, so I need to have. I mean, Harjit is a fan of sriracha, which I can't stand it.
I love spicy.
The other day,
you know what?
Like, oh, if you drink a beer that's sriracha, that's disgusting. That's just not right. But I have tried it, and I've tried to like it, and I just don't like it. It's not.
Well, I found I'm hooked onto a new sauce. It's called Matooks, Matouks.
Okay.
I got to show the bottle next time, and it's from the Caribbean. I think.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's from the Caribbean islands, and it says mild on the bottle, and it's freaking killer. And the base is papaya. The first ingredient is papaya, and then I think it's
that's terrible. That's
sweet. No, but it's not sweet though. It's.
So then why they put the papaya in?
Well, I guess because otherwise you're gonna have a lot of heat.
Oh my gosh.
But it's good. Yeah.
Oh brother. Anyway.
But I love sriracha. Oh my god.
Good.
Okay, guys. So.
Well.
All right, man. This is great. Thanks for joining us, and.
My pleasure.
Hey.
Good talk.
So, Duncan, how can people get a hold of you again? You're on Twitter, right?
Yeah, absolutely. At DMC_heat.
Nice.
Right?
Cool.
Yeah. The only other thing is, look out for my upcoming book, Advanced Windows Security. There's some interesting ways you can see on my Twitter feed about being able to vote up chapters.
Yep.
I saw that.
I'm going to close that off here in the next few days and select one of the top 3 chapters to be the free sample chapter that gets released.
Fantastic.
First.
Awesome. I vote for containers, personally.
Containers are fun.
All right.
All right, cool. Well, I am Prayer. You can find me on Twitter at @ITPrayer.
And finally, I'm Harjit. You can find me on Twitter as @Hoorge, HOORGE. Until next time, cheers.
Ciao. Go Cowboys.
Hook 'em home.